dinero y amor pa' mí, dinero y amor pa' mí, pa' mí, pa' mí, dinero y amor pa' ti, pa' ti, pa' ti, dinero y amor pa' Adriana, dinero y amor pa' Shuyin, dinero y amor pa' Mariana, dinero y amor pa' Fabiola.
This podcast is brought to you by Emotional Damage.
I don't know, I just feel like sometimes we have to just lighten the load and lighten it up. You know, I feel like everyone's so serious. I also feel like just with the landscape of the world and how people are now in general, like, I feel like comedy is almost like you kind of have to tiptoe around it nowadays, because some people don't think that things that are just supposed to be funny are funny anymore because they're too, you know, wrapped up in like how it's going to make them feel, or, you know, even joking about like topics that maybe people are very serious about. I think is funny. I think we need to do that because, you know, things need to be talked about, but it can also be talked about in a lighthearted way versus just, you know, oh, well, that's not funny, you know, because they're getting triggered. Like, I feel like a lot of people get triggered nowadays.
Beautiful. Anybody else on the benefits, positivity?
If you look at the situation, it's, you know, if you have like half of glass filled with water, this glass can be half empty or half full, and it only depends on the perspective you give it. And it's the same with laughter and with humor. You can have the same situation be perceived as a negative one or a positive one, funny one or like a sad one, and your perspective matters. And it's like we live the life we focus on, and if we focus on all the serious negative stuff, we will see more and more of it, and it's just more pain. So instead, if we have more humor, more fun, more laughter, we have more energy, and life gets easier, more flowing, and this humor and fun helps to enjoy the day more every single day. And then you know, positive people live longer, they are happier, they have better results. And it's like self-fulfilling prophecy that if you look at things positively, you are increasing your chances to actually get things done and achieve what you want to achieve. So it's not only like the benefits are not only psychological, but also the end result, the end game is completely different if you are much more positive than you were without humor or fun.
Anybody else on the positives and benefits of comedy?
I just want to say really quick, like, I just feel like sometimes, you know, there's a lot of people that want to get down and out. So I just feel like if you can focus on the positives and, like, not let other people steal your joy and your peace, that goes a long way. Because sometimes, honestly, happiness is a choice that we have to choose for ourselves, and to look at the positives, be glass half full. And I think you can also do that with gratitude. Like, sometimes if you had a rough day, like, maybe write down 10 things that made you smile that day or that you're thankful for, and then it kind of, like, helps you reassess. I think that's been a good one for me.
I have another perspective on the positive side of comedy, and I know it comes from when I was a child. For instance, when I was a kid, we had All in the Family and the Jeffersons and what was the one with the junkyard? It doesn't matter the name. And other TV shows that laughed at a lot of stuff that was, quote, today would never even make the airwaves. Richard Pryor and George Carlin would never make the airwaves today because they're, quote, too triggering. But what they really brought to light was some stuff that we needed to be talking about. And because people laughed at it, they would talk about it. Today, we're bottling up emotions, saying, oh, that triggered me. And then we don't even talk about something that maybe needs to be talked about. And if it's done in a lighthearted, laughing way, it gets past the angst that's there that maybe people are uncomfortable with. And then suddenly the conversation is moving, people see each other's side of things better, and then we get along better instead of finding divisive ways of saying, well, you can't say that. So humor is a phenomenal bridge. We just have, I think society, as Jenna was talking about, has rat-holed stuff that we can't even talk about stuff anymore. And it's truly detrimental to our own total species involvement.
Right, and I think humor was used to bring down like what was the Russian Empire called?
The Iron Curtain.
Yeah, whatever that was. Like that empire was used. You know, they use humor to belittle the royal family, and you know, so humor is a powerful tool, which brings us to the green hat: creativity and positivity and possibility. Focus on innovation and playfulness. How can we invent new ways to laugh, together and alone? And what is your next level version of humor? Silly voices, sketches, comic storytelling. And a good prompt for this could be, if your life was a sitcom, what's your opening line today? Malisha.
By the way, it was Sanford and Son, The Garage.
Yes.
God, I'm old. those are the good old days when I was a kid. Well, as Josias knows from the previous podcast we had, I had a series of unexpected life-changing events. I lost my grandfather 3 weeks ago. Followed my favorite little boy cat, Binks. I lost him on Sunday. It's been hard, and I can't explain how I've grieved. It's like losing a child. But I think for me, emotionally, I like to watch belly laughing comedies. And as I mentioned before, I can relate to the movie Bridesmaids. If anyone has seen that just brings completely hysteria. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's been difficult. You know, I go through my periods of being angry. I even question my faith at times. I'm like, why? But for my grandfather, he's lived a beautiful, long life. I mean, 98 years of living, almost 99. Married to my grandmother for 74 years, which that's something that, you know, you rarely see. They were like a notebook story. My grandmother just made 95. Long story short, you know, I've gone through my period of moments of crying. Thank you. I just turned 51, so yes, I am old enough. But anyhow, as somebody had mentioned before, you know, I kind of do the affirmations, you know, remembering my whys. You know, I think it was Ashley, I want to say thank you again. You know, writing 10 positive things, you know, of what makes me happy. And, you know, I still have so much to look forward to. You know, I have a husband, I have children, I have 2 more pets. Still alive and well, that bring complete joy. Thank you, Kuba. You know, that's how I move. You know, I go through the angry. I had my eyes looking so much better. I had like shopping bags of eyes a few days ago. You know, I'm still grieving. It still hurts to talk about it. It makes me emotional. But, you know, I also allow myself to be vulnerable, right? If you can't be vulnerable, then what's even the purpose, right? I leave you guys with that.
Thank you. All right. Anybody want to add to that or follow up?
I think it's key what Melania was saying, that she's still vulnerable, and finding there's actually healing in that, and finding the joy of her other pets and etc. is the counterbalance that allows her to process the grief of the loss of her animal and her father.
Whoa. That's good. Adriana, go ahead. Felt like you wanted to...
Luna has something to say, I guess.
Who? Go ahead. Who?
And I think that what Ashley was saying, the Melina was talking, I think it's staying on the present and using humor to not disconnect, but rather to ground yourself on the present so that you are able to enjoy or feel whatever it is you need to feel in order to move forward.
Okay. Possibility and creativity. Let me hear from you.
You said something about skits. I mean, I've been actually trying to figure out how to, this just came at the perfect time because I've been in business for 12 years and that's my background, business and marketing. And I have been trying for many years because I know behind the scenes I am funny. And I've been trying to figure out a way to, how do I bring that into like my personal brand? How do I bring that into my business, but still have people take me seriously, you know? So yeah, I've been behind the scenes thinking about like little skits I would do, probably with other people, just anything to laugh it up. I actually just started following this podcast and all it is these 2 guys going back and forth telling each other corny jokes. And it's hilarious. Like, I'm just like, this is awesome. And there's nothing to it. It's just bringing lightheartedness to the world that is kind of dark and kind of heavy right now, you know?
Yes. And one of my favorite podcasts is Kill Tony. And in Kill Tony, you have this guy, I forget his name, but he's like the main headliner. And then he has this bit where all he does is repeat things with the band in the background. So the simplest thing can be the funniest thing. Where he's like, Tony Hinchcliffe would tell him, hey, start naming things. and then he'll just start naming random things like, what did you eat this week? And he's like, sauerkraut, and then the band starts and the lights start going, da, da, da. And then what else did you eat this week? A sandwich, da! And then just the silliest thing, but he makes it sound funny. So I guess from there, a good segue from that would be delivery. He could say something, and then I could say it, and it's not funny. And then also, from the perspective of of a liberal, a conservative might not be funny, and vice versa. Delivery and perspectives in comedy. Who wants to go?
I have one I use almost daily because I'm 60 years old now. I work with a lot of people that are in their 20s and 30s, and our customer service base is a lot of people under 30, 35. And when I show up to do the thing I'm supposed to do, I say, well, your antique dealer's here. No, I'm not selling antiques. I'm just old. Collectible, though.
Nice. Self-deprecation. Yeah, make sure you do 10 compliments after that.
And it breaks the ice that I'm an older guy, but I still have a sense of humor. It does it quick and easy. And then, because there's a few smiles and whatnot, I feel welcome. They feel like I'm not there to put my age on them, etc. Because I've diffused I brought the whole thing that I know they're all thinking to light. And then we move on, and one of my supervisors says I make about 20% more on average tips than the average person in the room. So something's working.
Anybody else on that? Any follow-ups?
I feel like I do that sometimes, like when they ask if you need help at like Lowe's and Home Depot. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I need a lot of help, but I don't think you can help me. And they just think it's so funny, and my kid gets so embarrassed.
Yes. Anybody else on that? Okay, let's get into a 4-part comedy structure, or 3-part. This is how to write a joke. You have a premise, we have a setup, and a punchline. That's the basic form of a joke. So from here, we could say, let's say if your life was a joke, or if any part of your life, your business or your personal life was a joke, and you come up with a joke, here's a basic comedy structure. The first part is the premise, the idea. Is the truth or observation you're starting with. It's the what if you ever notice moment. So what if, like the possibility. You ever notice, like for example for me is I like to go to the beach by myself in the morning. And then a lot of the times I go there, there's nobody there, and I love it because there's nobody at the beach. I feel like it's all mine. My precious. But then somebody shows up in my beach. Gets me mad. So I use humor to cope with that. So that is the idea. Anybody like to share an idea from their life that we could use to create some comedy? Oh, go ahead, Monica.
No, I was just saying I totally relate to that. I love beach in the morning. I don't live near the beach, but whenever I am near the beach or I go on holidays, I love beaches in the morning all by myself, and the more people they come, I'm a people person, but I like to have my space. I like to have the time with the sun and all of that. So I was saying I relate to that. So Yes. Anybody else have an idea from their life that they could use as a premise to an idea to form a joke from or create some comedy from?
Well, I know you talked about this in previous episodes, but I would say for me, it would be probably something around dating in your 40s. I feel like I would have a lot of material.
Ashley was talking about that yesterday. Ashley, what's up? Tell us your material.
I mean, I don't know how many frogs you have to kiss, but it's getting real. I'll tell people that.
So this is the topic. I was talking. Go ahead.
I'm getting scared. They're not turning into princes. I don't know what's wrong.
And it's almost like you need a credit check. Check off this.
Yeah.
What are your
I'm gonna need some
credentials?
references. I need a credit check. I need to see a bank statement. Do you own your house?
Oh, am I getting a
house?
Yes, this is perfect. See, we're already laughing. We're not even trying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So dating and comedy and humor. Anybody else has some dating premises or like things that you like to share there?
I don't know anything about the dating scene now, but I hear from my friends that are divorced and in their 50s, and it's god awful. I'm like, who wants to date anymore? Because you don't know. I mean, before people were using dating apps where it was safe, and now it's just like, oh my god, who's on the other side? Is it someone that they say they're gonna be? It's like, who is that? know.
That's where the cats come in.
Yeah.
Catfish. What's on the other side of the catfish?
I'd rather be with my cat. He's sitting right there, actually.
Aww.
Agreed. The
But
pets are better.
Yeah.
exactly.
They don't talk back. They just meow. They purr. You know.
Yeah.
They play with you and they leave you alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at
They're
that.
cute. They're not ugly. They're not catfishes.
Oh God.
Actually, I think the real secret to our pets is that they're fully genuine all the time. I have
Yeah.
2 cats. Both of them are rescues, and one is super affectionate and always wants to be picked up and petted. The other one goes through her mood. And she's literally wild. She literally showed up on my porch 2 years ago. I started feeding her. Next thing you know, she didn't go away. And then my other cat made friends with her through the window. And one let her in on one weekend. And the 2 of them were buddies instantly because basically they rubbed noses on the window enough to make buddies. But she's different. Her moods are different. But the thing is the 2 of them are always genuine, fully real about where they're at. Versus people do stuff to make you think they are something they're not. For example, in the dating thing. Oh yeah, I got a Ferrari, I live in Dubai, and I am the catch. Meanwhile, I'm living under the bridge in a cardboard box, and all I have is an iPhone that I stole, that I got my pictures, that I photoshopped from AI or whatever, right? I mean, it's ridiculous today. Yet that's also the other side of it. When we get vulnerable and real, and I think we attract way more through our friends and family, people we know, for being authentic and vulnerable, finding the lighter side of things and laughing at, like in dating, you go out with I went out with a girl, and she told me she was a social drinker. She had 4 drinks before we had lunch.
That's good. That's good for you.
She had 5 DUIs, and I'm like, I laugh at it today because it diffuses all of the what could have been a traumatic relationship if I'd have ignored it. So
Yeah.
both sides of us do suffer from that misleading thing. So
Damn.
but when you find the funny in it, you can move on. You can tell friends about the ugly frog that showed up and laugh about it, or live in your bad humor. Poor me.
Yes. Let's hear from I want to hear from Cuba, dating in Poland. Let's hear from Cuba.
I don't know much about it, only what I hear from my friends, and they have a lot of experience, interesting experience, I would say, with confronting reality with what they find in the app when they are searching for a person. And sometimes it's difficult to actually recognize or compare the person with what they have in the app, and sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not, and those who are like in search, sometimes they get really frustrated, and nowadays like apps replaced reality, so very few people, very seldom they go to clubs or to like public places to meet somebody, and theoretically it's safer to meet a person in an app. I wouldn't agree with that, but it's this is the perception, and still it's like it's more about like who you are and how you show up. And I agree with Billy Joe that if you are authentic, you will attract. And you attract who you are, not who you say you are. So whoever you pretend to be, if it's fake, it will not work. Not maybe just to meet another person once, but in longer term, the authenticity and who you are and how you show up, it plays a role. And this is the magnet that allows you to actually see who you are. And if you do not know who you are, then look at the people that you have around you. Look at the people that you spend the most time with, and they are a mirror for you. So if you don't like the people that you have around you, that means that there are a lot of things that are within you that you might consider to change because you attract those who are like. And if we come back to the original topic of humor and laughter, it's a lot about energy. And the more laughter, the more fun, the more humor, the more energy you have, and the more you open up. And at some point in time, hopefully, rather sooner than later, when you actually tear down all those masks and all those layers that are like that you created to protect yourself, you don't need them anymore because you are self-aware, and you do not need to hide from the outer world. And when you can straighten your back and smile to yourself and smile to others, then real magic begins.
Beautiful, beautiful. Which brings us, when you say authenticity, when you have a mask on, let me pin this real quick. When you have a mask on, it does work. It works short term because I've personally seen it happen. I've been to 38 countries chasing women all over the world, and it works. It works short term. But if you want to create a long-term relationship, it does not. So let's go to the setup. What is the expectation? Go ahead.
So can I come back to your point?
Sure.
I would say that it works you attract those who are, let's say, fake-like or similar-like in terms of who they are. And if you are looking for some more meaningful relationship, then it's either short-term or long-term. You will attract who you really are. So because we cannot control other people, we can control ourselves. It's great to look at some of the things that are within you. So that you can bring the best out and attract those who are alike.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, which brings us to the expectation, which ties directly to this, the expectation, which is the second part of the framework to create a joke. The expectation is, this is where we lay the logical or relatable groundwork. This is where we make the audience nod in agreement. Example, at first it feels good, they listen, validate you, say all the right things. That's the setup. No punchline yet. So, who's got a good setup? Like a good, logical, relatable framework that we can start with.
How about like an awkward date, since we're talking about dating?
Awkward date?
An awkward.
Awkward date. Okay, that's good. Awkward date. Anybody else? Awkward date or anything to follow that. Jenna, what about can you? Okay, so we'll move to the punchline on this because so she's got an idea. Is the awkward date. So the punchline is the twist. So flip the script. Break the expectation. Add surprise or irony or exaggeration or absurdity or all of it. So example, then out of nowhere, they stop calling because you're not emotionally regulated enough for them. So at first it feels good, they listen, validate you, say all the right things. And the punchline is then out of nowhere, they stop calling because you're not emotionally regulated enough for them. So you got a few laughs. So based on Ashley's setup, what's a good punchline from that? Like, how can we break the expectation, add a little bit of surprise, irony, exaggeration, and absurdity?
I can give you a good one.
Go ahead.
When I first met my husband, you go through the dating phase, and crazy enough, I decided I'm going to meet him through an app, which was very safe at the time. I've been 12 years with him. And the first couple of months, this man has the audacity to tell me that I was overbearing. And I was like, overbearing because I want to see you. I want to get to know you. Like, I'm not just going to date somebody I can't get to know. Like, and then he realizes later, like, we broke up and then we got back together because he realized, okay, it's nice to have somebody overbearing that wants to get to know me. Like, I wanted to know what his favorite colors were, his favorite food. I'm a cooker. I love to cook. I'm a foodie. I'm Hispanic and Italian, so I love to cook. And when he said that, I was like, this guy is really weird. I'm like, he needs to go back in the pond where I found him, And, that's my relation. I was like, what the heck? And ever since then, it's marriage. You go through your ups and downs, but it's great. I married my best friend after a crazy marriage with, my ex-husband, but I married my best friend, and it's been great ever since.
Nice. Okay, Jenna, I know you want to say something. Let's go.
Put me on the spot.
I know you've been thinking about one.
I was just paying attention to the lovely Malisha. I don't know if I have a punchline on this cue. Not yet.
Okay.
Punchline though. In real life.
Awkward dating. Setup punchline. You know the time. So a setup is something like it feels good. They list. Well, that's an example. It's just you're laying the groundwork. Like that time when you're sitting together. So I'll try to come up with something. You're sitting together at the movies, or let's say you're sitting together at the opera, or like you're having an awkward dinner date or lunch or a coffee. That's the setup. Like, when you're sitting and then you start talking maybe about, you start having small talk. What about this? Let's talk about small talk in a date, in a first date. See, Jenna, you're flinching already.
I'm not one for small talk at all. Like, I want to go deep and I want to go there, like, now. Like, immediately.
Immediately.
If it's not it, you get you out quick.
Damn, you don't even give him a.
I'm far enough along in life. I don't need to beat around the bush about the weather or politics or some bullshit. I need to know maybe a little bit, are we going to get along politically? But, beyond, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of what so-and-so did and blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. That's just stuff we don't even have control over. I want to know, who are you? What drives you? What are your passions? What moves life for you? What are you looking for in a mate? So the real truth is, small talk is a way to avoid being open.
I have a different perspective on that, and that's small talk. How, remember in the beginning, we talked about the framework of the globe, the planet. Small talk is where you meet somebody before your planets start connecting. So if we were to think about, just to get serious for a second, if you were to think about like each person being a globe or a planet, like, we're all solipsists, which means that we all think like the world revolves around us. So we have our own worlds, and then let's say when we come together, our surfaces touch, but you guys want to touch your ecosystems like right away. I mean, is that a realistic expectation? Maybe the other person just wants to touch their surface with yours first, and then maybe if they feel safe enough, the course.
That's where small talk, it happens like in the grocery store in the line, and I see Jenna's got something unique in her grocery cart, like a weird fruit or something. I go, what's that? And then she responds with that beautiful smile of hers, and I ask another question. There's the small talk. If her and I were to go, I'm not saying I want you to date, but we go out on a date, we're both old enough to say, let's get into the business of finding out who each other is and be honest and open and vulnerable. But by the time you make 40, and that was 20 years ago for me, I knew I was done with the bullshit. By the time you're 50 or 60, you ain't got time to waste on going on 6 coffee dates to decide if you're going to go on a real date.
Billy, that's where sorry.
No, you go ahead, Malisha.
I was going to say that's my punchline where I get into astrology and I'm like, ooh, what's their sign? It's like, what sign are you? Because then I stay clear.
Yeah.
That's where my planets align and say, okay, you better run fast.
Oh, talking on astrology. Last night, did anybody see the full moon?
It was done by me.
Oh my God! It was as bright as the sun.
It was beautiful.
Whoa, that's crazy. Ashley, what's up? Let me hear from your dating life. What's up? Tell me an awkward time. Ashley tells me she's going on a couple dates a week, so she's really out there.
I mean, I feel like I like to have fun, and like joke around, and I feel like you can do that and get to know someone at the same time. Like, and you can sneak those little questions in there. Like, I have friends that are super awkward and will literally ask people how much money they make, and I don't need to do that. Like, it'll just come up naturally. Like, if you're having a good time and you go on a couple dates, if I really want to know, you can volunteer information and they'll usually volunteer the same back. So like, I feel like that's a better way to go. The first date, I kind of just want to have a good time, see if I like them, and then I go from there. Because usually like, I don't even want to go on a second date anyways. So it's not that much time lost.
But what's the most awkward thing that happened this month?
I was up in Orlando for work and a guy wanted to go out that I met on a dating app, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then like he was like, oh, I come to your hotel and pick you up, and I was like, but then at the same time I was kind of exhausted and I didn't want to drive, so I let him. And like his literally passenger side like front door like didn't even open. He like wanted me to crawl across from his side into the other seat. I was like, this is too much for me.
So do you
like, I'm gonna pass.
Do you
But he insisted on you picking you up, even though he knew that.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I have a taser, I guess I'll do it. But I was like, this is scary. I was like, I'm sorry, this is too much for me. You need to fix your car. He's like, right,
Sounds like being
it ain't me.
with the candy.
Yo, what about you, Jenna? Any awkward moments from this month? Any awkward dates from this month?
No, I've had good dates.
You Oh, Eleonore, what about you, Eleonore? You got any awkward dates?
I had awkward dates, and after the last one, I decided to no longer date. So, and the last one was back in 2025, 2020. So 5 years ago. Wow. So
did it give you COVID?
Dating, like I had a traumatic experience from that date. It was really where you find yourself please, I need to pay the bill because I want to pay the check because like I'm not staying here. And he got mad because I paid. I was like, I don't understand. You guys always complain because we pay. Like, have to pay. I'm paying for you because there is no second date. I just want to leave. But yeah, like for whatever reason, like I cannot share
details.
Because I don't think it's safe, like for the channel, whatever. But I did use dark humor to escape the situation, and it didn't go so well. He didn't appreciate that I used humor to.
Is there anything? Because now everybody's curious. Is there anything that you can share? Anything at all?
No, I don't think. No, it's not. It's like no, it's not safe for YouTube.
It's not safe. It's not safe.
Not safe for YouTube. That was extreme.
Oh my God.
Because like I'm just like Billy or Jenna. I don't use small talk. I want to know you if we're going to match or like we are kind of, because we are all awkward. But are you my kind of awkward? Are you like the kind of awkwardness that I like, that I can match? And it was definitely not. It was way above awkward.
I feel like we might get some juicy details later, maybe from you.
Later.
Let's hope so. Okay, what about you, LaVey or Victoria? Do you guys got some juicy dating stories?
You know, I let me tell you, my go-to was laughter. When I was dating, I'm married now. Yay. I always felt if I can get the woman to laugh, I'm halfway there. Literally. I don't know what it is. I think if you can connect in some sort of laughter, a good belly laugh, for a man, for me, I was halfway there.
One thing, I'm curious because I'm not sure. Oh, Malisha left. Love it. Are you the guy from 2016 that was? Okay, so for everybody that doesn't know here, it maybe not in the Tony Robbins world. LaVey, is it alright if I share your story, LaVey?
You want to share? You want me to share?
You can share. Go ahead.
Okay, so 2016, Tony Robbins had the UPW in Dallas, and I didn't know these people. I wasn't a part of the Tony Robbins universe, and I literally had no clue what was going on. At the time, I was homeless. I had been homeless 17 years, and I was selling these newsletters for the home, and these people literally, they just kept loving on me. In the beginning, I literally didn't know what these people wanted from me, but I quickly found out they just wanted an opportunity. They saw a need, and they wanted to meet that need, and the need was shelter. Not only was I homeless, I was also suffering from a 30 plus year addiction. And so, and they met that need, literally. Today, I am married. Today, I am 3 years clean and sober. I bought my first ever home 2 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And life has been, it has been a marvelous, to say the least. And it's literally all because I literally like to tell people I'm the product of a random act of kindness. You never know how you will impact a person's day or life doing a random act of kindness. People, they wouldn't hang in my circle. I wouldn't hang in their circle. But they didn't see me that way. They just saw a need, and they truly wanted, and they just loved on me until I found the space where I started loving myself. And today I do love.
Wow, and this is a full circle moment because I was there at that event, and I remember when LaVey was out there hustling, he was out there selling his newsletter, and these guys like from the crew, they just started talking to him and stuff like that, and they bought you a ticket, right? They bought him a ticket to $1,000 event, and then go ahead. You want to tell the rest?
They set me in the VIP section, and I wasn't in my seat no more than 5 minutes. Someone came up to me, "Here, you're gonna need this." It was some food. Someone right behind them with some water. Someone right behind them with a blanket because it was cold inside. And I was like, "Who in the hell are these people?" And I like, what do they want from me? I had no clue at that moment. And I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, I wasn't even receptive to the love that they were trying to give. Truly, at that moment, all I wanted to do was sell these newsletters, get some more money, so I can continue on in my addiction, in my alcoholism. I just wanted to keep doing what I was doing, and no matter what pitfall I would put up, or brick wall I would put up, I couldn't get away from them. But that's the beauty of it. They was not gonna let me go until they met the need. And man, they started a GoFundMe campaign for it and everything. Yeah,
that is good.
It is. I've even done a TED Talk since then. How to transform from self-neglect to self-respect.
Amazing.
7 neglect to what?
How to transform from I'm sitting outside on my porch. How to transform from self-neglect to self-respect.
Self-neglect to self-respect. Okay, I'm gonna write it down in the chat. Anybody, if you want to check that out.
I would add a full circle on top of that. I met Levy 2 years ago when the UPW came back to Dallas. And he was a shining star. I showed up for the pre-stuff, to do stuff, to set up stuff way before. He was a shining star beacon of exactly what he received. A man who was running around, making sure people were taken care of, making sure that they knew what they needed, etc. Meeting needs without them even knowing they needed the need. He's a man giving of his heart, full of love, brightness, kindness, beyond what is normal. I mean, to a point where he is a magnet generosity because he is that generous within himself.
Which brings me, I was thinking about this morning. Random acts of kindness. You know, making somebody smile could be a random act of kindness. You know, and I remember at that event, these guys were actually pooling the money together to buy him a ticket. They were like, hey, you got $50, you got $100, da-da-da-da-da. Until they scrunched up enough money and they bought him a ticket. And then now, because of what they did, he's there, homeowner, from homeless to homeowner, you know?
And not only that, that whole experience is the reason why I'm a retired disabled veteran today. At that moment, I wasn't eligible for services from the VA because I got 2 honorable discharges and 1 bad conduct. Because of the bad conduct, I could never receive service. But someone who was at that event at the time, Misty Williams, she was a crew member out of Austin, Texas. She had me get my discharge paper to someone in Dallas who got it to her. And that was June of 2016. In August of 2016, I received a letter from the VA saying we're going to separate your periods of enlistment and recognize your honorable period, and you're eligible for service. Today, I received full benefits, 100%, and you know, who knew that they say proximity is power. You know, I have seen proof for Tony 7 times. I've been to his leadership academy. I've been to his Date with Destiny. And I went to Date with Destiny. Tony invited me to Date with Destiny as his personal guest. I attended the full UPW because at the time, it was only 2 days left of the event. So they sent me in November of 2016. They sent me to San Jose to attend the full UPW. And they sent me in Tony's VIP section, which is the CIS section. True story. I sat right beside Gerard for the entire UPW. But I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. We went through the full experience. He cried, I cried. I massaged him, he massaged me. And after the event, somebody asked me, "Do you know who that guy was?" I'm like, "No," I said his name. And I didn't know he was a movie star. I did not know who he was. But, you know, it was cool that I didn't know because I think that afforded me the opportunity, and him as well, to really get the full experience of what UPW was about.
Wow. How did the shoulders feel? Were they powerful like in the movies?
They were. Dude, now that I know he is, I am Sparta. You know? Now that I know that, you know, it makes so much sense. Because I used to think like, "Oh, you tight? What is wrong?" He's built.
Before the day is over, your people will see a God King bleed. It's one of my favorite lines. I know I butchered it, but you know, it's from the movie The 300.
Yeah.
Wow, where can we go from here, guys? We got about 10 more minutes here. And so let's just start closing out. All right, so here's what we got here. So in a brainstorming session, the first part is we start by throwing ideas out there. We start putting dots. And then if we base off the mining analogy, like with the gold mine, you know, the gold mine is in the house. We got the surface level, we'll find the vein, and then we find the gold reserves. Now, when we find the gold reserves, like we start connecting, like, you know, in the old Indian stories, like the Mayans and the Aztecs, they used to collect like gold pellets and they used to melt them. So from here, we start connecting golden dots. And then the golden dots, we connect them with lines. And then the lines become shapes. We color the shapes and we move them around and it becomes a motion picture. And that's what we're looking for. That's the beautiful ideas we want to get from here. So what I want to do now is let's go back to the framework of like 30 seconds to 1 minute, and let's go back and let's look at the conversation. First, I'll go first and I'll give you guys my clusters from the conversation, which in the beginning, personal development, Kuba mentioned personal development, AI consultant, Jenna, okay, here we go. Here's from the topic, using comedy as a release. That's number one. And then we talked about that. Let me see, awkward moments. Then Ashley mentioned awkward moments in dating. Healing modalities. That was Billy Joe. Healing modalities. And then self-deprecating humor was touched by Jenna and a few others. Jenna mentioned, oh no, that was I think it was Malisha talked about belly laughing comedy. What did you guys get? What stood out the most from the conversation? Let's do 30 seconds to a minute. Each one. Let's start with Billy Joe.
I think some of the things that stood out was the commonality of we're all from completely diverse backgrounds. You know, we all found things to laugh at and have fun with. I see the underlying thing of random acts of kindness. I mean, Levine put the icing on the cake with that because he is a random act of kindness walking.
Beautiful. All right, let's go. Oh, from that, great segue to Leve. Let's go with Leve.
Okay, so my takeaway is life's too short. Find a way to laugh. Laughter is healing, and the world needs healing right now.
The world needs healing right now. So for that one, let's go to Eleonore, because she still hasn't healed from her last date.
No, I did. No, my takeaway is really interesting because the topic was laughter and comedy, and we share that comedy is used as release, as to speak about topic that makes people uncomfortable. And Jenna, I think, mentioned we live in a world where everyone is triggered by one thing or another, and we spend a lot of time speaking about dating, which says a lot because either we feel triggered or either we feel uncomfortable and safe or not healed and not like awkward moment in dating. And so I felt like this says a lot in itself.
Okay, let's go to another traumatized dater. Let's go to Ashley.
Well, I wasn't that traumatized from that, but I was just like, nah. But no, I think, everyone's saying to try to make light of situations, see the good in everything is super positive. I feel like that's really important, and just reflecting on things and, being the best version of ourselves brings out the best version of other people. I think a couple people brought up who we spend time around as a reflection of us. I think that's a good thing to remember, and choose our friends wisely, because they say you're most like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So we want to make sure we're spending time with positive, encouraging people that encourage us to be our best self. Like a quote my grandma used to always say is like, be the best you that you can be. And I think that helps us to do that. And hey, I'm glad other people are struggling with dating too. It's not just me. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's completely fair. Okay, well, let's go to somebody who's had a great dating experience recently. Let's go to, wait, where'd she go? Jenna, let's go to Jenna.
What I got from this whole thing is, like, the comedy and the humor just makes it's relatable. Like, at every point, someone could relate to what everybody else was saying, even though I know some people know each other, but, like, I don't know any of you guys. But I kind of feel like I do now because we connected on those things. So maybe we should do first dates like this. We just have a Zoom call with like 10 people. And then you go into little breakout rooms with the people that you want to, get to know more.
That's great. We'll connect on that. We'll do comedy speed dating on Zoom. Let's do that. Okay, let's go. Wait, Sasha, at any point if you want to chime in, we're about to end the call. So Sasha, so where they're doing her.
No, he said no. Okay, so basically.
I'm listening. But I'm listening.
So this was a beautiful conversation. I wanted to say earlier that, because we were talking about awkward dating, I make the dating part awkward because I don't like small talk. I'm like a trauma-driven person. Like, I'm trying to heal your trauma on the first date, and it's not good. So I make the first date awkward, usually. So I need to figure out how to do small talk better, basically.
Okay. Anybody's got some, any advice for making the small talk better, making small talk great again? Dinas, go ahead, Victoria.
So I'm in a long-term relationship, but I used to have horrible dates all the time because I wasn't authentic. And I want to say, like, the right person, you won't be too much for the right person. So screw small talk. Be yourself and be super weird because the right person is gonna love it. They're gonna eat it up.
Which is it's a great point. Yeah, go ahead.
Feedback for Sasha. She's doing the kind of work that next to maybe a bartender or waitress, she is in the king of small talk businesses as a hairdresser. She's got practice every day. Own it, baby.
Own it, baby. Own it, Sasha! Woo! Okay. All right, let's go to Cuba. What's your takeaway from the conversation so far?
Regarding small talk, long time before, I'm happily engaged and have been engaged for quite some time. But before that, I remember that I had wrong intention when dating people, like focusing to find my wife. For long term, very serious, and it didn't really work well. So just being your best self, your natural self, and enjoying the moment is much better intention to meet other people, and it works super well for intimate for dating as well. And you don't need to have long-term expectations. Just go with the flow and enjoy the moment. And regarding summary of the conversation, I really enjoyed listening and participating in this discussion. Comedy and humor, I wish we had much more of it every day. It brings energy, it brings joy, it increases our capability of being more happy and just enjoying the day even more and achieving more as a consequence. So thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward to meeting you maybe sometime someday.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to Malisha.
For me, I think the best takeaway is vulnerability. Not being afraid to show who you are, because I guess, like Ashley said, my grandmother has an old saying, but it's more in Spanish. But it's like, tell me who you are by who you walk with, and I'll tell you who you are. And still to this day, I mean, each of us have our own learning lessons. Long story short, is always be your authentic self. I mean, we came into a room, I don't know anyone either, as Jenna had mentioned, except for Josias. I feel like showing your true self, even though you're scared, you're like, oh my God, I don't know anyone. I read the room, and reading the room was the perfect vibe I needed to be in, and everyone shared their stories, beautiful, their experiences. I'm all about energy and vibe, and those are the people I like to stay connected with.
Beautiful. Okay, and then to end this, one word or one sentence that you would summarize this in. Just one word or one sentence, really quickly. Let's start with Lave.
Laugh more.
Laugh more. All right. Jenna.
This experience, I would say it was an experience. That's my word.
An experience. That's the Josias experience. Oh, by the way,
your book. Come on, Josias.
Yeah, by the way, this book is brought to you by Emotional Damage by Josias and Dujar Jr. It's a great written book by a great writer, and also by Proximity is Power. Get it also on Amazon by Josias and Dujar Jr. All right, Billy Joe, one word or one sentence.
I think laughing it all.
Laughing it all.
Let the negativity go. Laughing it all.
Laughing it all. Eleonore, one word or one sentence.
It was very powerful. It's really, because everyone came and they share their authentic self, their vulnerability and moments of their life where they allow us to be part of. So I love it.
Beautiful. And then Ashley, one word, one sentence.
I feel like everyone stole all mine, but just using humor more and maybe learning how to make better jokes or more jokes.
Yes. And then to end, Eleonore, can you give us anything juicy from the date? She said no. Okay, what about Jenna? You got a joke so we can end? Cause you're a comedian, so or let's say a funny reflection to end. It was a funny reflection to end the Zoom. Your expression was enough.
On the spot.
Your expression is enough.
Humor is more natural,
Yeah, more. Anybody got a funny reflection? Go ahead.
Ain't like this. and it's kind of on the date line. Okay, so it's a guy, he's in a Corvette, and he's speeding down the highway. The state trooper get behind him, and he hit the lights, and he pulls him over. The guy pulls over. As soon as the state trooper get out the car, he hits it again, and he's flying. He starts feeling guilty. He pulls over again. State trooper get behind him, get out the car. The guy waits right before he get up to the door, and he hits it again. This time, his heart is really getting the best of him. And he pulls over. And he waits. The state trooper gets to the car and he rolls around the window. He said, now, you got one opportunity to tell me why you flying down my highway. The guy says, well, yesterday my wife ran away with a state trooper and I thought you were bringing her back.
Oh my God.
Hey, we talking about dating.
That's good. I like it.
That's good. And then to end, I'd like to do this last exercise. I don't know, have you ever guys heard of laughter therapy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna put together two letters. There's the H and the A. So do it with me real quick. Just put together the H and the A. What does it say? Ha. Ha. Okay, now say it twice. Okay, now 3 times. Okay, like a little louder. Okay, now add a little emotion, a little frequency. Ah! Now make it silly. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here with me. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone. Nice meeting you all.
Thank you. Yeah, bye. Nice to meet you too.
Bye, everyone.
Dinero y amor pa' mami, dinero y amor pa' papi, dinero y amor pa' Leli, dinero y amor pa' Abby, dinero y amor pa' mí, pa' mí, pa' mí, dinero y amor pa' ti, pa' ti, pa' ti, dinero y amor pa' Andriana, dinero y amor pa' Shuyin, dinero y amor pa' Mariana, dinero y amor pa' Fabiola.